Tottenham will take on Bayern Munich in a pre-season friendly this weekend, but the big questions are around the incomings and outgoings at the club, or lack thereof up until now. Let's cross live to Tottenham's training ground, where our reporter James Green has been speaking to Ange Postecoglou. Hi there, James. Good afternoon to you. So that might change in terms of the deafening silence of transfers that's been around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium thus far, because they are in advanced talks to sign Dominic Solanke from Bournemouth. Did Ange Postecoglou address that in particular?
Yeah, look, some Tottenham fans maybe getting a little bit impatient. They've signed a couple of 18-year-olds in Archie Gray and Lucas Bergvall. Both players may well feature within the first-team squad this season. Certainly looks that way from how pre-season has gone. But as regards Dominic Solanke, unsurprisingly, Ange Postecoglou steered away from talking specifically about the player. But he did reiterate a stance that he's been talking about all throughout pre-season, and that is that the attacking area of the pitch is an area that they want to bring in reinforcements. He said, analysing his squad, that's the area he sees as the thinnest. And you'd have to look back to a year ago when Harry Kane departed the club. They haven't really replaced that front forward number 9. Postecoglou said that you can't really replace a Harry Kane, a generational talent. But what they've had to do is search for somebody that fits the unique style that he wants his team to play. And if we kind of look at the way Dominic Solanke plays, he's a high-pressing forward. He scores goals now, certainly did so last season, 19 goals in his Premier League return. He's good in the air, he brings other players in and he allows other players to run in behind. You kind of think that's a pretty solid and safe fit. But the Tottenham manager remained tight-lipped, but did say that with other clubs around them in the Premier League improving, they need to improve at a greater rate. And he expects some news maybe in the next few days.
OK, we'll watch out for that. Did Ange Postecoglou elaborate on any players leaving the club, James?
Again, like players incoming and outgoing, he didn't want to be dragged into specifics. Did talk about a few of the younger players, though, the likes of Alfie Devine, and whether there's room for them in the first team or whether they're going to be going out on loan. And he said that with the younger players, it will be down to an individual case and whether he can offer them first-team football, because what he doesn't want to do is stunt their growth, so he wants to give them the opportunity to play football. So there might be some movement on that front, but there are a couple of other fringe players. Sergei Reguilon, who spent half a season on loan at Man United and then Brentford last season. Talk of him potentially going to Barcelona. But the one today, this morning, that cropped up was Emerson Royal, and our colleagues in Italy have reported that AC Milan are closing in on a deal with Tottenham for the Brazilian right-back. But as regards specifics for Ange Postecoglou, and when I asked him about this in his press conference, he said he doesn't want to fuel the speculation in order to prevent a meltdown.
I think, me sort of speculating around these things, a bit like, it's a bit like the treasurer, or what do you call them here, the exchequer. If I speculate stock markets could crash, mate, or in our world, Twitter or X, whatever, it could go in a meltdown if I start speculating about things. So, look, it's fair to say we've still got some work to do in the transfer window, and hopefully, those kind of things, well, they will get resolved. It's a little bit difficult for me because I don't have a control over that to kind of be definitive about it. But like I said, I'm hopeful that over the next sort of few days there'll be some resolution, both ins and outs.
So, yeah, look, it looks like there will be some positive news on the transfer front soon for Tottenham fans, and patience will certainly be rewarded. He did later on in a press conference say that he expects a forward to come in, certainly before their first Premier League game against Leicester City, the first Monday night football of the season. And they're building up for their final pre-season game against Bayern Munich tomorrow night, where they'll welcome back Eric Dyer and, in particular, record goal scorer Harry Kane. He said, look, it'll be hopefully a lovely occasion for Harry, for his family. The fans of Tottenham as well will sure to give him a nice warm reception. But he said as soon as kickoff goes, he hopes he has a bit of a miserable time. But look, Ange Postecoglou is focusing on his squad now. He says they're in the right place, they're in a good place, much better than they were last season going into the new year. And as long as he can get his transfer business working right, then he expects certainly that Tottenham will improve on their performances last season.